Happy Mod Day! I hope you like mods, because there is 58 mods to talk about today. All platforms got 43 new and 5 updates, and PC Mac players get 8 new and 2 updates. Now, we didn't do mods yesterday because there was only a couple updates, but we will be talking about those today, as well as the plethora of all of the other new ones that came out. So sit back and relax, check the timestamps to see what you want to see first. Otherwise, let's jump right in. Starting off today, we got some new mods and a new map for all platforms. This is AgroForests. This is based on Silver Run Forest. The massive expansion includes a new map with sprawling forests packed with production chains and points of interest that develop based on your log deliveries. Extraction of iron ore, rock, and sand, and a plant to process the rock and extract cement. Cargo ship for transporting logs way over there, and aggregates to sell, and production points. Purchase of sale of animals, grain storage silos, and the lot. The train can also transport and sell all products on the map. This is pretty darn cool. There is a lot going on with this. It's basically the farming version of Silver Run Forest, which is pretty darn cool. Here is your PDA. Of course, we have a lot of mountainous regions and logging stuff down at the top, right up at the top left, and then down towards the bottom right, we've got kind of your farming setup. If we can go up just a little bit, we can kind of take a look and see that a lot of those trees from Silver Run Forest have been cut down. Now we start right up here. So this bridge right here, this is where you start on Silver Run Forest. So looking down, that is where our farm usually is. But now, our farm has taken over the entire mountainside. That is pretty darn cool. If we pop over and see what we get in new farmer mode, well, it's all of this. A ton of space. That is so much stuff. Multiple fields. I say multiple, I think there's only 3. But we've got some animals in here as well. I mean, those are kind of spread out all the way around too. It's just a really neat idea. I love this. I think this is going to be quite popular. As for everything else, you've got 13 fields with an average acreage of 8.8. You also have 29 different forestry plots, so good to know there. Pre-installed for sheep, beef cows, dairy cows, pigs, horses, chickens, large and small olive groves over here on the right-hand side, which is a required mod. You've also got vineyards and rice fields on the map too, so a lot of stuff going on. Water could be extracted from large river and smaller streams, with it being Silver Run Forest. Yes, there are little streams all over the place, and then you've got many other different changes and additions that have been made to the map to make it a little bit more forgiving when it comes to farming. Yes, you can still rebuild the roller coaster, but I don't know. Yes, actually, yeah. So both of our boats and roller coaster can be built on the map. Of course, all the production chains and things like that found over here. You do have your collectibles, so you'll be able to put those in your museum. And then way over here, you've got your olives and your vineyards. So nice to see those way over here. Ooh, a lot of vineyards. You'll be able to get your iron ore, rock, and sand from around different places on the map, different ones where it actually extracts it out of the ground and drops it into piles for you. So that is very nice. And there's some areas like this one right here where you actually have to buy the land in order to use the production chain that is on it. We've got our iron furnace right here, so we take our iron ore and turn that into metal. But it doesn't show up as a production chain until you buy it. And of course, you cannot sell it once you've purchased it. It's so annoying. As for this area up here at the top of the map, this is also a set of production chains. Actually, there's 2 of them in here. You've got your stone production there, and you also have your cement factory. So if we pop in and take a look at those, of course, this is where we're going to be needing our sand and our stones. And if we pop it down one, rock goes in, stones come out, so that makes things a little bit easier. There's a lot more to the map that we could cover in a mod video, so definitely recommend checking out either Farmer Cop or Mr. Silly P's videos on this once those are out. Definitely jump in and check it out for yourself. As far as everything else goes, here is your crop calendar. Pretty standard stuff through there. Animals, we have cow barn, of course, sheep, so we do have 10 sheep to start off with. We got 55 chickens, 10 18-month-old cows. We got 5 pigs, and we have 3 horses. So you do start off with plenty there. As far as your production chains, I've purchased these. However, there are a few up here, which are available on the map itself. However, for some reason, these were not showing on the available section. Again, they just don't work until you buy them. As far as everything else, here's all of your crops and things like that. So you can go through here and find where you need to sell stuff. And of course, here are all of our vehicles, starting farm stuff. As always, we do have some required mods, so here those are. Moving on, we've got a tractor to look at, the Fendt 700 Vario Gen 7. We also have a pack of front loaders that go with this, but it's a different mod pack. Kind of interesting. Well, this one's got between 203 and 303 horsepower, ranging in speeds from 37 miles an hour to 24, down to 24. All of these standard wheel brands that you would expect on a tractor, including the wheel setups you would as well. We've got design lines, which can be changed individually. Front parts, you do have a few little bits and bobs there, which is nice to see. Warning signs, of course, can be added or taken away. And yes, they do have an option with the LEDs on the end. That's cool. Of course, we have the Fendt cargo front loader setup, but we also have no. So you basically have to use those if you want it to look and work correctly. Bunch of colors to choose from, as you can see right through there. Those include the main, roof, and rim. Since the Fendt cargo pack comes along with it, well, it's separate, but comes along with it, we'll take a look at that as well. And here we've got 3 different ones, a 4, 5, and 6100. Ranging with different horsepower setups. You also have different setups for your front mounting. So you have the compact, the standard, or the Profi. You've also got different setups for your numbers there, but I don't see anything changing other than the number itself. I'm sure in real life that is going to be having to do with the lifting and things like that. Of course, we do have different colors. Fendt blue, a little bit light to be Fendt blue, but is what it is. And if you're curious, this tractor right here goes with the Fendt cargo set, the regular or the Profi. So when you're using it, you can go with front mounting of standard, front mounting of Profi. However, do be careful with compact. Might be a little bit skinny for you. When it comes to the tractor, we do have a couple animations for you. So we've got one for the rear window. We do have the side door, and all the way at the tippy top, we've got one that opens up the hatch. It is important to note that these front loaders, only one of them actually works with this 700, and it's going to be the largest of the line. Boom, right there. I'm not exactly sure which ones the other ones fit, as it doesn't say, but yeah, there you go. Well, it does say that the 5X is only suitable for the 700 Vario and 800 Com3 series, whereas the standard one right here, configuration Cargo 6, only one matching the 700 Gen 7. Moving on, we got the Valmet Mega 8300 8800 series from AE in Design. On this one, we do have 140 horsepower with power shift transmission, 24 miles an hour, 6.9 tons. Nice. Front mounting, 3-point. You've also got a front weight holder with multiple different weights to choose from. Engine options, of course, up to the 8800 with 190 horsepower. Wheel brands through here: Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Vredestein, Midas, BKT, Nokian, and a back end. We do have a big twin wheel setup, which looks nice. Front fenders. We also have the AgroData onboard computer. So there is that. Right on the right-hand side, main color, design, exhaust pipe. That is it. What does the design do? A little bitty bit in the front. Grill is what we would call that. However, no rim colors, interestingly enough. We've also got the return of one of my least favorite tractors from Farm Sim 19. However, I've really enjoyed it since then, although we are missing some of the hood. Over here, the Fiat 1300 DT from Just Farming. We've got 2 designs. Of course, one of them is with the hood off, chopped up, and the other one is with it on. So you can do a little bit of role play if you want to pretend like it's broketed. So that's pretty cool. We do have multiple different wheel options to choose from. However, no brand. Front 3-point, yes or no on it. And then we've got our cabin colors. You can change up the color of the cabin, just not the color of the tractor. Included with that, we've got opening of all of the stuff, so both side doors will open up. We've also got moving of the seat. Check that out. Forwards and backwards and tilting. Nice. It's nice to see all of that. Then we can also move the steering wheel forwards and backwards. Open up rear hatch. Sorry, not hitch. Otherwise, yeah, rock and roll. It does go 22 miles an hour, so it is a bit of a speedy boy when it comes to a Fiat, and it drives very, very nicely. You can kind of feel the weight, but it still feels lightweight. I like it. Next, from Hispano, we have the Holmer Terra 3 Evo. This is from previous farming simulator games, although I'm not quite sure which one. And it takes beets off the ground, sends them up a conveyor, and plops them into a trailer. So there you go, you've got that. We do have a main color, and we have a rim color set up as well, so you can change up whatever you like. And our last vehicle today is the Schäffer 2630. This is a front loader. You do have a couple options on here. 25 horsepower engine. Fenders can be added or removed. Roof setup can be added or removed. About forgot how to say the word roof. And then we can also change up the main color. But this looks awesome in black. So right. Check that out. Oh, it looks so good. Next up from Hispano Modding, without a bunch of fanfare, and then bam, it's released, the Corteva Circular Pivot Irrigation. Very, very cool. This is a returning mod for Farming Simulator 22, and I'm really, really glad that I'm on 4 fields right now, because that's going to make this a whole lot easier. You do have the field contour guidelines, so that is nice to see. Coupler configuration. This is just for the hitch itself at the front. Number of sections. This is going to also increase the working width. So 68 meters is one. You go to 124, 180, and 236 meters. We are just going to stick with one. As for the configuration of rotation, so full rotation in 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20, and 30 minutes. Then you could do same in 3/4 of a rotation, half of a rotation, and 1/4 of a rotation. So that is going to depend on everything. Of course, the fastest would be 3 minutes, so we will stick with that. And then we've got some colors on here as well. However, that's really just going to be for the framing of the trailer and the rim colors on the trailer. The pivot itself does not change colors. It's honestly not a big piece of kit, and it's not super heavy either. So you can get a quite small tractor like this teeny tiny little Zeta Proxima right here and set that up. So if you purchased your guidelines, you'll be able to left bumper and raise those up now, giving you an idea of the circle where everything would be. Those are going to raise up quite a ways, all the way up to about there, and drops down. So, do you have them? Do you want to use them? Do you not want to use them? I think it's very, very helpful because it allows you to put this thing smack dab in the middle of a field. So that's good. I got to figure out where the heck I'm going to put it, though. How about we put it smack dab right in the middle of this whole area here? Wouldn't be using it for nothing anyway. That will do. All right. So now let's open up the cover. It's going to drop down, and this is going to be what kind of sets it up. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. And from that point, we're kind of done. So after that, let's get in it. Let's go ahead and drop this back down because obviously we do not need that when it's already unfolded. You can click on the right rotation or left rotation. If you click that, it's going to go all the way around and then go in reverse. So it's kind of nice that it at least does it. So we've got that. Let's go ahead and fill it up. Obviously, I'm cheating it here just a little bit. Herbicide liquid fertilizer, there we go, that'll work. But if you wanted to fill it up, all you gotta do is just pull up beside it and you're good to go. Next, we turn it on and then we click right rotation. And now it's gonna take exactly 3 minutes to go all the way around. And that's it. It's fertilizing. If you have the fertilize once mod turned on, it should fertilize once. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work with precision farming, though I would assume it will work perfectly fine because it is, at the end of the day, a sprayer. Either way, very neat. Check that out. We're almost a quarter of the way around. Awesome. It is certainly one of the more cool setups, and just remember, you can get it set up. This is only one segment. You could get up to 4. Next, we have what could be a bit of a game changer for console players. This is the Balers pack, works with AI and silage additive. This is a smaller pack, so of course we have a round baler, we got a square baler, we got a round baler with a wrapper on the back. We've got a bale wrapper, which actually will wrap quite a few different bale sizes. Very cool. So this one goes all the way up to 180 centimeter round bales and 240 centimeter square bales. These are not unrealistic capacities. They just kind of are what they are. And then we have the GPS weight. Whenever you load up customization options, these are going to be very similar to what you would expect to see from the base game, although there are a few things that are a bit different, like this Kloss baler, for example, that defaults to Kloss orange. If you wanted that. Now, of course, you can change it up if you would like. But I still think it's pretty darn cool. I think it's very, very cool. So this pack features, of course, works with AI. It's got a pre-chamber, wider picking up area, body color configs, rim color configs, and weight configurations. Of course, we do have the extras of the bell wrapper and the front GPS weight. Although, no, I'm not quite sure what it means with GPS weight. At least not yet. So then, let's test it out. First things first, we're gonna hire up a worker on this guy. Now, we jump in and take a look at our settings very quickly. We can see we're at 10 meters. Oh no, stop it. That's not gonna work. There we go, now that works. Everything kicking out towards the center. So now we should be able to take this, which I've got it set up for round silage bales, because of course I don't enjoy doing those, probably my least favorite bale. So now I should be able to come in here, AI worker, set this to the exact same settings as I would, and it should, hypothetically, work. I don't know if it's going to lower it and unfold everything, because it is currently not any of those. I don't know, let's give it a try. I'm curious to see what it's going to do. Oh, it opened it up. It's turned it on, coming forward. It didn't lower, or I guess hasn't yet. Yo, is this going to work? Oh, you got to be kidding me. I'm not doing it. Look at that. Look at that. All I did was hit hire worker. Man. Oh, that's so cool. It does have a pre-chamber, so the wrapped bale should be good. I don't know. We're about to find out, ain't we? Popped it out pretty quick. These are the smallest bales. So, and we have kind of found the, not issue, but kind of found the the bit there, haven't we? Can we change the bill size? I don't think we can with this thing, can we? Yeah, not changing it with that. So, at least the good thing is, it does work. We just may have to slow it down a bit. Oh, and there's a miss some. Is it gonna drop right here? Oh, come on, tell me it's gonna drop right there. Totally dropped right there. Missed a little bit, but nothing too wild and crazy. All right, looking good. Man, this is so neat. Let's slow her down. Yeah, so you may have to set it up and slow it down just a little bit just so everything works correctly and drops all your bales and does it in a nice, timely manner. But honestly, you'd have to do that with everything. The round baler, I'm actually not quite sure how the round baler would work. Ooh, let's give it a try. So this baler also has a pre-drop, so let's set it up to exactly the same. Work the headlands, yes. Start with the headlands, yes. Hire worker, and we'll just kind of see what it does. I'm guessing it's gonna pull forward a little bit and then back up and hit this. You know you want to do it. I also set it up to 180 centimeter round bales, so that is good. And it is going. Man, this is like the coolest thing in the world. It's making a bell and it's wrapping. Well, it's not going to wrap it, but it's making the bell. Let's see. Let's jump into it. So there's our grass bale. Goes into the second chamber. We are rocking along at the full speed that it says that it could go. Boom. Nice. So there's only one way to do this, and that is by using a pre-chamber. Now the pre-chamber is also used in the fast bale, which is why, well, that's why that works. So does this work? Absolutely. Is it awesome? Absolutely. Oh, if you wanted to make bales without having to do it yourself, this is the way to do it right here. Next up, we've got some tools. Let's talk about these quick. The Lizard NVAM and the NVAP. These are going to be disc harrows for shallow cultivation. A little smaller, so you've got a 4.1 meter working with and a 5 meter working with, although these are just different models because they're showing the same specs, but the weight is slightly different. So there is that. Of course, there's your model, so we're working with, and then we've got colors for the main. You've got a nice design. That was blue as well. There we go. We'll change that up. And the rim colors are rim colors. Another Rolmako cultivator. This has got to be like the 20th one of these that we've got. Another 3 meter as well. 240 horsepower is required. Next one is a windrower from Agro Design Austria, aka ADA, 40 horsepower, 5.9 meter working width at 9 miles an hour. We do have multiple different customization options to choose from through here, so that is nice. Different wheel brands as well. That's pretty cool. You got a spare wheel, the swath cloth, multitask, as well as a back fender. Very cool, very awesome. Love to see options with stuff like this. Our next one is the Strautmann Streublitz BE5, also from ADA. This is a manure and lime spreader, 6.5 meter work width and 9 miles an hour, 65 horsepower required. It holds 8.5 thousand liters. An extension, of course. You can add those, small and the large one, at up to 12,500. Different wheel brands, different wheel setups, and we have a galvanized or a red setup for the design. Looks like that's just going to be at the front though. Next one's the Lizard OptiCut. Now these are 4 mowers. They're available in a 2.1, 2.5, 2.8, and 3.2 meter working width. We do have a setup for stickers. So that's going to be around towards the backside. And then we have the cover of yes and no. I love that there's no cover on here. Plus a main color option, which is great to see. Now, this is also available as a PC only mod, the Talex OptiCut, but we will talk about that a little bit later on. From North Modding Company, the NMC guys, T-Bone's back, and he's got the BM Volvo Snow Gear. This can attach to wheel loader or front loader and a telehandler. Very nice to see those options. And then we've got the colors. However, the color is going to be that BM Volvo color. So there's that. And then you've got a V-shaped snowplow, and we also have a dozer snowplow here as well. Of course, all of the same connection options. If we go in and we take a look at stuff, it is going to have us go into telehandlers, wheel loaders, front loaders, all that stuff. However, it's wanting you to use it with one of these 2 pieces of equipment. From EY Modding, the trailed lifter is here finally. We do have 20 horsepower requirement on here. This takes a trailer hitch and turns it into a 3-point. You can throw a little bit of weight on here, so it is kind of nice to see that. Helps hold it onto the ground, but doesn't add a lot. Adds 400 kgs, bringing the total weight up to 1.5. You do have a main color option here and a rim color, although it doesn't change the whole rim, just the inside portion. This next one is a lifesaver, the pickup hitch for foragers. So this hooks up to forage harvesters, and it allows you to hook up different types of attachments on the back that need a hitch. So we're talking about different things like trailers, for example, like forage trailers. So it's kind of nice to just run out by yourself. There are quite a few modded forage harvesters that already have something similar to this on the back. However, all the base game ones do not. So if you have the Kloss, Fendt, New Holland, Krone, John Deere, it is all there. It is all sitting waiting for you. And you can even change up colors. However, wasn't seeing any colors changing. Yeah, colors aren't changing. Not sure what's up with that. I might be missing something. Either way, grab the one that matches your harvester. Make sure you've got it lined up with the hitch in the back, which, not that it's useless, but it doesn't do a whole lot. And hook them up. Boom. There you go. It's fit perfectly. It's exactly where it's supposed to be. And you're good. There's a neat setup. This is the Lizard Big Bag Lifter. Now, this is available with 3 different sets. You have a 2, 3, and 4 hook setup for big bags. And you've got, of course, right here shown as well. And these are also for front loaders, telehandlers, and wheel loaders. So depending on which one you're rocking with, well, you might be able to load up some pretty cool stuff. They've even included the Kubota Orange and the Merlot Green setup. So if you're using the Kubota M8, or maybe you're using, I don't know, the little Merlot, love the Turbo Farmer. Well, using any of those, simply add your colors. Good to go. That's pretty cool. A little something different. And your last mod before we get into the 24 different setups for placeables today, the Logan Blades from AgroForest. Good to see them in the video. Always good to see them. You know it's a good day when AgroForest are around. So we've got a couple setups for you here. Both are 2.3 meter working width. However, this logging blade big setup right here, of course, 3-point hitch, as you can see on there. You got a main design and a secondary design. I'm curious. Let's set up one design. Aha! So the other design must be the one at the tippy top. Staged up to red. Yeah, there you go. So the 2 setups through there. One is a little bit smaller, still hooking up via 3-point, though the hitch is a little bit different. And then you've got the main and the design for the sides. Did I say they're the same? 1.7 and 2.7 meter work width, respectively. It's kind of nice to have logging blades like this on your farm. You can move things around. They do work as levelers, so if you've got wood chips or something like that around, you can push them around with those too. I just realized that this guy's still going. Let's just stop. Jump into a bit of placeables now, and we have 24 of them, like half the video. It's new placeables. Sit back and relax. It's probably going to take me an hour and a half to record this section. So we have the BGA Complex, the large BGA with quote-unquote plenty of volume, ideal for any job. Now, it is true that it is absolutely insanely massive, but there are things that are 1% the size, maybe not that much, but very close, that do about 10 times more than this does. At the end of the day, 1 million liters of manure, 1.5 million liters of silage, 1 million liters of slurry, and 500,000 liters of cut sugar beets, and 1.8 million liters of digestate. Now, is this great? Absolutely. Very, very good. But it's not the biggest one out there. So, there is that. So just be aware, it also takes up an insane amount of space. Oh my goodness. Next on the board, we've got the Lizard Fertilizer Factory. This bad boy right here. A little bit lower on the capacities, as you would expect. Loving the placeable that's been used here. Of course, inputs are going to be around towards the back side with another one here. Very cool, very nice. So what do we got? Well, we've got solid fertilizer and water in and getting liquid fertilizer out. It is a solid 1-to-1 in and out and half as far as everything else goes. This is a great way, I think, to get liquid fertilizer. Rock and roll. Heck yeah, man. Our next one is massive. This is the German Farmbuildings pack from Omatana. Bunch going into this one we will run through quickly. First things first, we've got 3 houses, and yes, somehow she's managed to put interiors in them. You would think this is impossible these days, but no. Very, very doable. Absolutely love it. I cannot get out that way. Let me out of here. There is one. Here is another one. Similar. Not exactly the same, but similar. So some time has been spent on that. And then I believe we have one more right here as well. Both doors open up at the exact same time. Nice to see again. Very different from each. I'm stuck under the stairs. Very different from each other. Then we get into some sheds. So these are going to be big and small sheds, nothing too wild and crazy. Then we get into our silos. We have 4 silos that are in Dupac. So about bale and pallet storage, 700 of them can be stored here, along with all kinds of other things and goodies. So upstairs, very cool, very nice as well. I mean, to be fair, Omatana's on a different level sometimes, and this certainly shows that. Boom, another set here, 500 bales and pallets, so there's that. And then over here, we have a barn silo with a 10 million liter capacity. Oof. Here's another silo, this one 20 million liter, just in case that wasn't enough. Let's go. And then we've got some sheds to take a look at. And a few productions. Yes, there are productions in this too. So here's a shed. Let's run over here. Here's another shed. Very cool. Also, you can change up the color. So we've got green for everything. Just some default, but you can change those up if you want. And then we get into the production. So come over here. Take a look at this. This is the fermenting silo. So we can make quite a few different things, including a bunch of silage, which could be made with different inputs, including straw, which is nice. And we have TMR as well. Capacities are fairly high, all things considered. I mean, for example, digestate's 20 million liters in here. So there's that. You've also got 2 million liters of hay. Same thing for silage and same thing for TMR. So you can make TMR in here. It's very, very good. Then we also have the farm bakery. Now, this one was very interesting and caught me off guard a little bit, but you've got a full interior for the bakery, which is very cool. Outside, we can click a this, and we've got some pretty cool stuff. Again, not an insane amount of capacity options for this, but it is nice to see that it's in this pack. So there you go. Very cool. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, we have the multi-filling station, which is very similar, if not exactly the same, to her other one in the early mods of the filling stations. However, if you just want one mod and you want all of this stuff, well, it's kind of nice to have this as well. So there you go, the German Farmbuildings pack. Did I get everything? I think I did. The next one is the Old Small Buildings pack. This doesn't have as many placeables in it, but we still have 3 rows full of stuff. So we'll start with the cattle pen right here. This one's going to hold 15 cows. Open sesame. Open everything bagel. Nope. Not working. This one works. That just made me look like an idiot. That's what that did. Yeah, that one just doesn't open. Rip sauce. Can't see a reason why not, though. Oh well, that's what it is, I guess. Nonetheless, through here we do have the shed and we do have the cattle pen. Still kind of irritated about that one that didn't want to open, but whatever. What are you gonna do, right? We can turn on the light. It uses a different button than you would expect, but yeah, I guess that's the way that goes. If you ever get lost and you're like, hey, what does that button do? Just turn on your help window. You'll be fine. Trust me. You got your little baby chickens over here, up to 150 in there with 3,000 liters of food. Nice to see that is an option. Door, looking good. Yeah, really nothing in there. Bit of a wasted space. These small spaces are quite hard to do anything useful with, at least in farming simulators. Just not enough stuff that's small. So coming through here, how's our head? Man, I tell you what, they made it just the exact height of a person, didn't they? Oh, I feel like a giant in here. This is great. Very cool little bedroom here. Very nice. I like that. That's cool. I always dig when they've got interiors. Oof, that is green. That is very, very green. Give me a bathroom. Come on, give me a bathroom. Nope, no bathroom, but we do have storage. So, there you go. There's your house. Very cool. This one also apparently had like some kind of weird storage, but I think there's a couple things that were copy and pasted incorrectly on the website. If you're looking at that, you may be able to check that out. Interior very similar to some of the other stuff that we've seen. Very nice with this. Big capacity, barn with bale storage, 600 bales apparently. I don't know how in the world they fit in there, but hey, I'll take it. Yeah. And then we've got another setup here. This is going to be a workshop. There you go. Nice workshop area. Do we have a door over here somewhere? Oh, I'm the idiot. It's open. We got a whale. Very nice. There's so much stuff. It's really hard to catch everything when you've got all of this. So it's going to take like 50 hours to do this. Hey, this is nice. It's kind of nice to see when you got little spots for the chainsaws. Very cool. And over here, yeah, we got a place for one spray paint. Fences are in here too. So, yeah, we got a nice gate here. It's got a wooden sound, but it is a very metal gate. And then we've got a wooden fence through there. Oh, and lastly, you've got this guy, greenhouse, which is also labeled incorrectly in the mod description. But you've got it. Whew. All right. Moving on. If you're looking for a big old modern pigsty, well, you've got one right here. It doesn't hold too many animals, 460. I know that sounds like a bunch, or maybe not a lot, depending on who you are. To me, it seems a little small for this setup. Also, food is very low, 85,000 liters. Slurry's 128,000, and straw is 45,000. So if you fill this up with pigs, probably going to be running it 24/7, paying attention to it. So just be aware of that. Now, we do have little rooms everywhere. We've got open spaces. Everything works. Even though there may not be anything in it, it's still there, which is really, really cool. Man, I hand it to you. It is very nice to see something like this. I don't know if any of these gates open. I would assume no. Yeah, no. But still kind of neat that they're there. That's awesome. Man, I love it. You know, it's super easy to buy a bunch of animals now. Let's buy these. I just want to see what they look like in here. Let's see. Let's go for these guys right here. 460 of them. Purchase, yes, please. Are they in? Ah, they're in. Look at that. Oh, it's so cute. Some of them have animals in. Oh, they're. I don't think you're allowed to do that, sir. And then we've got more in here. So it looks like maybe there's a plane down on the floor. And yeah, they're definitely going to be running through. From the same honor, the modern cow stable. This one holds a little bit less, 70 cows as opposed to 400 and some. Food's going to go down the middle. Again, doesn't hold a whole lot, but 70 cows don't eat a whole bunch. Anyway, $33,750 for your food, $21,000 for straw, $56,000 for slurry. Running around, you've got your milk right over here, although it doesn't say how much milk can be held, so not quite sure about that. And all the way around. Good looking building. Here's one that's nice and open. The old stable from MMA7 Studio. This one it says production recipe cow's milk. I'm not quite sure if this is a production factory or not, but nonetheless, over here in the manure setup, you do have your animals. 86 of them can be purchased here. Food 60,000, straws 25, manures 200, and slurries 500. You can put down your own setup for the fencing if you would like, so you can have way more than 86 cattle if you like. Open this up, and of course in here is our milk. But again, doesn't say anything about the capacities for the milk. So, just regular. And we are only getting started. Next one's the barn with cow shed. This one is going to cost you $55,000. Only, yikes, watch your head. 20 cows will be held in here, so heads up through there. We have a nice drive-through setup. Very cool. Can open this up. Nice, nice. We've had a couple things similar to this in the past. I think we had was it a Polish building or something like that a couple weeks ago? Had a nice big shelf inside. So that is your shed portion. And then this is your cattle portion. So all of your cows will go in there. I appreciate that they're not just static animals, at least not seeing any. Boom, there you go. Can open this up as well. Very cool. Yeah, not a whole lot to it. This actually has quite a bit. 20 animals for that. You get 15,000 liters of food, 6,000 liters of water, 10,000 liters of straw, and 50 in slurry. Next up, we have a logistics center, which is a little bit all over the place. I'll show you exactly where to find it, so don't worry about that. This says that it's in placeables and in storages, and it also calls itself a miscellaneous item. However, it is not. It is in tools, which is just the exact wrong place for it. It is said to be in silos. However, it's also not there either. It should be in factories. This is where it should have been. However, it was not. In here, we've got a capacity for 4 million liters of stuff. Matter of fact, we have 4 million liter capacity for everything. So all of our base game setups, including a few things that are not base game, it looks like as well, you're going to be able to have everything either sent here or you're going to have everything sent from here. So if you wanted one place to be able to pick up all of your stuff, this is a really nice way to do it because everything can be sent here. So you just simply set everything to be distributed and it'll come here. And when you set it here, set your output correctly, everything from all of your productions can pop up out here. Can get a little messy when you start working on a ton of different things, but if you wanted to just put this down, you're good to go. It is $150,000, so be ready for that. From ICAS, we have the shed with extra wide doors, $125,000. Gonna get you this, and OMG, talk about some wide doors. Yes, sir. Man, you probably fit an airplane in there. As a matter of fact, this would make a really good hanger. Let's open it up. One button opens both doors. Very nice. Opens it up to just about as wide as the back portion, which is great to see. We also have a man door right over here. If we turn on the help window, we can see we've got lights on with a big clunk, clunk, clunk. We've got a sign right here, which is the bottom trim on. Now, if we click that and we run outside, I'm not quite sure which bottom trim we are talking about. Let's click it on again. Bottom trim off. Would it be outside? Oh, this is our bottom trim. Nice. So if you wanted the siding to go all the way up, you're good. That's a very cool touch. I dig it, man. I dig it. Oh yeah, and you can change this whatever color you want. I think I've got everything for this next pack. Unfortunately, there is no list, and the thumbnail doesn't have everything in the picture. Ever so slightly very frustrating with this. I feel like I'm getting worse and worse every mod we do. I can't wait to see the last one. We're not even halfway done with placeables yet. I need a Dr. Pepper and a Red Bull. Give me both. Let's move on. Small farm pack from Hulse FS. You've got sheds, silos. It literally looks like somebody took a bunch of different mods and threw them at a wall and was like, yep, that's what that'll be. They are great. They look very nice. It's very cool. It's a nice placeable pack. There's one shed that they've used about 2, 3, maybe 4 times over and over and over again, just to be different things, so it would be nice if those were a little bit more cohesive. That tank is also here, so it's in a placeable. It's also not in a placeable. Water tank up there, and then way over here we've got a light. I would like to be a little bit more thorough with this, but I don't even know if I've got everything. These are just what I could find. This might be the cheapest old shed I've ever seen. The old shed, $10,000 for this. Not too shabby. There's really not a lot going on with it at the end of the day. We do have an opening here. It does have a sound, but there's no handle there. Well, I think I know why there's no handle. It's stuck right there. Oops. And then way over here, we've got another opening. Boom, 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 boom. Same thing. Nope. It actually took the latch with it. So, at least there's that. Yeah, not a whole lot with this one. Very, very small. If you've got a small build, maybe this will work, but definitely not going to work on any of the maps I'm playing on. Next is a very simple barn with workshop, $37,000. So heads up through there. We can open this up. Nice accordion style. Boom. Oh, I gotta open both of them. I knew there was going to be a catch. It didn't do anything. What the heck? Okay, you're done. Oh, it just takes forever. All right, well, never mind. In here, we got a couple hammers to hit yourself over the head. That's wonderful. And a nice place to work on your vehicles. That is very, very cool. And there we go. Lights. That is the third different light button that I've found on buildings today. Next, you have the roofed bunker silo and wood chip storage. And I will be frank, I don't think it has anything to do with wood chips. It could be anything that you want. So one building is found in silos. The other one is found in sheds. This version right here is actually a bunker silo. You can see at the top, fill level chaff. Oh, I got a button for this now. There you go. Bam! So you can check that out. And then you got a place up here where you can park vehicles. Now, this is dependent on you using 2 different level sources. So, like, up here would be one level, and then you go down a hill or something, and then this is level. So, this is going to have to be built into your map or your placeable area. I use completely flat section. This one is said to be for wood chips. However, you can dump anything in here you want. It doesn't have to be wood chips. I don't even know why it's called the wood chips. Next on our list is shed. Now this one is interesting because it includes a version with solar panels on the roof. Now these can be customized, so if we decide to go in here and customize it, you got brick, rough cast, plaster, there you go. But there's no solar panel configuration. That is in a completely separate model right over here. Not sure what the issue was having them on the same, but well, there you go. I do know that the one that has solar panels does have this, technically making it a different model altogether. So there is that. So just be aware, it is 2, even though it seems like 1. Next is our concrete block garage. $35,000 will get you this bad boy. We can go in. We've got a full open area for the whole thing. However, there are different size doors depending on what you're putting in here. And you can open them from the inside as well, which is nice. So there you go. There is that. We can open up this. Boom, slides all the way over there. Kick it again, slides to the left again. Oh yeah, kick it again. I don't think that's supposed to work, but everything slides to the left. So, heads up there. If you've got one thing that's open, like click there, click over here. There we go. So that's going to be a bit in your way. But it is what it is. Also, click where the door was. Not where it is. Next, we have some of the nicest fences that I have seen. This is the double rod mat fence pack. Look at that. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Nice gate on there. Nice fencing. And then we have not 1, not 2, but 3 of these absolutely massive rolling gates. Rolling. Keep rolling gate. Yeah. Big old things. Check that out. Got your little rolio there. This one's the biggest one. It is absolutely gigantic. If you're curious, if you've never really been able to figure out how to do multiple different things, well, simply turn on your help window. When you jump in, go click what you need, build your fence, and then you can actually change the type from there. So let's say I want 3 doors in a row. Well, you can absolutely do that. You can also reverse it so the door goes the other way. There you go. And then, of course, we could do through there as well. So that's how you get everything to match up. You could even put two of those doors right beside each other if you wanted. But this is also, again, how you keep it going. Boom, done. And deleting is just as easy. Honestly, you could probably sit there and hold the delete button and it would work. At least it used to. But now, not so much. You do have the different sections, though. Bam, 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 bam. Fences and gates, honestly, some of the easiest things. Back over to some placeables. We have the Silage Bunker. This is from Lancey Boy. Good to see him releasing some mods in 25. Up at the top, you can see we've got our fill level chaff at 0, so it is a silo like that. Now, we have seen a couple things like this from him before. You can change up the color on the side, which is very, very nice to see, and so on and so forth. We grab that. Ooh, I wonder if I could do a toothpaste tractor. Can you do toothpaste tractor out here? Hang on, let's click that, favorites. Aha, you can. It doesn't look good, but you can. Let's keep it going with silage silos. This is the Silage Silo 6-pack. Oh, yeah. The thing that I will never have, a 6-pack. Carry out a keg with me. That's about it. That's how that works. So this has 3 straight angles, and then we have 3 of the U-shaped setup. So there is that. Also, if we take a look, we'll just use the smallest one as an example. We click there, they do not snap together. However, you can put them together, but you have to be very, very careful when you do it. Boom. But is doable, and I think it looks really, really nice as you've done it. Check that out. Man. Absolutely perfect. Here's an interesting one. It took me a second to find it. It is the bulk material silos. And this one's actually in tools. Again, one that I wasn't quite sure exactly where it was. So it is a bulk material wall, basically. And the wall doesn't have any way to get crops through it. So it's got its proper collisions. So you can like dump a pile of rocks over here and then dump a pile of wheat over here in the corner and then dump a pile of manure over here. Just keep it separate, obviously, for sanitary reasons. Nonetheless, but you've got that, which is very, very cool. You could also take it, flip it 90 degrees, and if we set it up just right, bam, there you go. You can do that. You could also put another one over here and make it a big section. So it does work. Very cool, very nice. And they're very cheap as well. Next one's pretty cool. This is the outdoor silo. So you may be able to see these stakes all the way around. These are setups for outdoor silos. So you can take a bunker silo and do your thing with it. And the other cool thing is if you go to the front left marker. So as I've been here, put them down, boom, they're tallways. This guy right here, if I go in here, says hide wood stake. Boom. Click that. They'll go away. Look at that. That's super cool. But I'm going to leave them because I don't know where they are. They are available in 3 models, and the largest one is quite large. These are going to be perfect for maybe in the wintertime or maybe fall time whenever you're doing silage and you want to do something, but you've got a field that, doesn't have anything in it. Hey, simply put this on your field. These may look familiar to some of you. The placeable refill tanks. I think these were base game at one point. However, these are now mods. They've been mods for a while. We've got 4 of them. You've got herbicide, liquid fertilizer, solid fertilizer, and seeds. And they are all containers, so you can come in here, buy as much as you need, and then that much is, in there. How much is our seeds? Seeds are about $1,000 per 1,000 liters. Let's see. 10,000 liters is just under $10,000. So I would say that is pretty good market price. We're getting there. Only a couple more. This is the Pioneer tent for $20,000. The most expensive tent in the world. Can we get in there? No, we cannot. Oh, well, it's kind of slightly stinkerooskian, but hey, it is what it is. Got a nice little Pioneer setup around the outside, and if you don't like the yellow, no worries, you can change it. And lastly, we've got some stuff I think I put down wrong. This is the Pack Balers Temporaire de they didn't translate. That's what it is. This has got some small markers, I'm assuming for the road. I'm not familiar with these setups. This is definitely a bollard of sorts. The others look like little markers of like, hey, watch out, there's a thing here. I don't know what these are, but they're here. If you know what they are and you've been like, oh man, I've been looking for that, there you go. They're here. So next, let's talk about updates for all platforms, and all of the updates today were released yesterday, so quick heads up through there. First one is precision farming. This received not one, but 2 updates yesterday. The first one we talked about, however, the second one we didn't. Well, this one fixed an issue for controllers not being able to change the tramline settings. This was not listed anywhere in the changelog, nor was it listed in the mod hub, but wanted to let you know just in case. However, the next update was listed in the changelog. This is Spakovo version 1.1. A map has been prepared for precision farming. Next up, the Deutz 46215 TTV version 1001. Made compatible with precision farming add-on. Buckets pack version 1.1. 2 new buckets have been added, plastic and rusty. Improved camera in the store and new mana in store icons. And last update for all platforms, diesel production's going to be version 1001. A water trigger now working correctly. Moving on to new ones for PC and Mac players. We have the Rhino Agro Platforms pack. Very cool to see these in, very exciting. These are from Calaruga Modding and Design. Great to see them. They used to release a ton of stuff. They haven't done as much recently. However, everything is epic. These are also from Rhino Agro, so it is a nice partnered thing. Unfortunately, PC only, not console. You do have different setups for rims. You do have the extension on the front, and then you've got a main color set, which is going to be the frame at the bottom. Both of those are the same. In a similar vein, we have the Camaro Platforms pack. This has 6 trailers, but really it's just 3. And I think some of the stuff could have been customization? I'm not quite sure what's up with this. You've got this set right here. So this is the PF100. It's got a front gate, which could be raised and lowered. And then this one's got the kind of the platforms in the front and the back, which could be raised and lowered. Then we've got one instead of 3 axles. This is 2 axles, but again, one with one in the front, one with one in the front and the back. And then here is a tandem trailer with one in the front, and then one in the front and one in the back. Regardless of which ones you go for, you do have the exact same wheel setup. Safety frames, just going to be wire mesh over your tail lights, and then we have a main and a rim color. Next from Nico's 3, 2, 1. Ayo! We have the Cynkomet Dzik. I feel like I said bad words all through that part. And nonetheless, this is going to be a manure spreader, 800 liter capacity, 2 meter working width, 6 miles an hour. Pretty small, but a very epic little piece of kit. Hey, if it's going to be small, make it mighty. Woo! As mentioned near the beginning of the video, we do have the Talex OptiCut. Now, this is going to be just like this Lizard OptiCut, available in 2.1, 5, 8, and 3.2 meter working with mowers. And my favorite bit, you can remove the cover. Next up, new one for PC and Mac players, the DEF Mod Pack. Now, this one can be available to buy your DEF stuffs, so you can buy that in a big container. You can also buy it in a little guy right here, 25 liters each. Also, you could purchase your DEF on the outside through here. Now, annoyingly, this is in the wrong place. This is a tool, just like all the other filling stuff. However, they decided to make it its own thing. So there is that. Now, you may have noticed earlier in the video that everything that I've been using has a blue mark on the side because it's added to, well, pretty much everything, at least all the modern stuff. You can see this doesn't have it. However, this guy, which is a mod, by the way, does have it. So all of your newer stuff should be available with it, which is very, very cool. They do say that the mod adds realistic consumption of AdBlue into the game and is aimed at those who place particular value on detail and immersion. Many modern vehicles, diesel vehicles in real life, use DEF for exhaust gas purification. With the mod, it's now also possible to do an FS25. In addition, a check engine light has been added, which lights up when the damage or service falls below 60%. So heads up through there. In addition, the DEF and AdBlue indicator light has been added, which lights up when the DEF and AdBlue tank is less than 5% capacity. Finishing up our new ones for PC and Mac players from Happy Loser. I think they mean Happy Loser. I don't know. Maybe I'm the loser. Definitely am. Auto repaint. So auto repaints all on vehicles and tools at midnight and noon. It reduces the cost 25%. However, doesn't work on mission vehicles. We also have the Vehicle Statistics marker, which selects the currently used vehicle and attached equipment in the vehicle statistics, so not mission vehicles. So this is kind of cool. We can actually take a look at the screenshots that you can see right here, the Deutz and the K-branded baler. Let's see what's hooked up. And lastly, we have Horse Helper. Tired of riding and grooming the horses? This helper will take over your tasks for you of riding and grooming your horses. It's going to be 6 a.m., noon, 6 p.m., and midnight? 24? That's midnight, right? Yeah, sometime around there. Optional 1 times per day as well. Lastly, today, let's talk about updates for PC and Mac players. First up, you have Info Display Extensions, be version 1201. Fix a lure error for patch 1901 with Working With. And our last mod today is facing Bahnhof version 1004, provided by the ModUp team. Fixed terrain visibility with game update 1.9. And there it is. That is your mods today for Wednesday, May the 28th, 2025. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, drop a like and subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the Go Ham Fam. Double check those notifications. That way you never miss videos like this one. I hope you have an awesome day. Enjoy playing with these mods. We'll see you in the next one.